Hey folks, Sean Franz here with 95.5 in this week's sales workout. This week's content topic is one that you're probably very familiar with if you've spent any time with us. I just want to give you a different way to think about it. The topic today is on the concept of one of our core foundational beliefs called intent counts more than technique, and technique is important. At 95.5 and in many great sales books and many classes, we learn tons of techniques. And techniques are great. They can be very beneficial. But what's more important than the technique itself is the intent for which the technique is applied. Is it for my best interest? Is it for your best interest? Is it for the best interest of the product or service, the solution? Whose interest is it in? And so often in the world of sales, the interest is really in my behalf. I have a quota to meet, it's year end, it's quarter end, I'm almost ready to make club, I'm a little bit behind, I'm being pressured by my boss, we just have a new acquisition and we've got to find a way to position such and such in the marketplace, and everything is driven from my perspective. But we got to fake it, and we fake it that we have the customer's best interest in mind. And this concept of intent says that that doesn't really work for the long run. You may win the battle, but you'll lose the war. You may get this sale, but eventually the customer is going to check in and realize that you don't have their best interest in mind. Something funny to think about, actually it's not really funny, but it's kind of funny to think about, is if you go back to the late 90s, there was a fantastic movie, very funny, won lots of awards. Great actor, Jim Carrey. And the movie was Liar, Liar. It was in 1997. And if you've never seen it, let me just set the stage for you. Jim Carrey is a lawyer who, in the beginning of the movie, portrays himself as the great guy that cares about everybody, always giving people acclaim that they deserve, giving them lots of compliments, doing the right thing, saying the right thing. And he wakes up one day and finds out that he can no longer lie. Everything he thinks in his mind comes blurting out of his mouth. And now the comedy begins. He finds himself in very precarious situations in elevators. He finds himself in a situation where he's getting a ticket from a cop, even being in a court of law in front of a judge and opposing counsel. In none of those situations he can lie. Everything he's thinking just comes out of his mouth. And what I would like you to think about for this week's sales workout is if your customer could read your mind. In other words, if you were in a liar-liar type of an environment where you could not lie, what you were thinking is what came out of your mouth, what would you be saying to the customer? Do you really have their best interest in mind? Because if you think about it, there would be people that would walk around. Imagine if just for 1 hour, every salesperson had to say exactly what was on their mind when they were meeting with their customer. You'd hear people say things like, "Hey, Jim, thanks for meeting with me today. I know for the past 2 months I've been telling you I was going to hold firm on my price, but I just got out of a meeting with my boss and got my butt handed to me, and I actually think my job might be on the line now. So today I'm going to do or say anything I need to do to get you to close this deal. How's it going today?" That's what would come out of their mouth. They're thinking that. And when it comes to intent counts more than technique, what we're saying is if your intent is not to help your customer be successful, in the long run, your customer's going to discover it. It's not going to be in anybody's best interest, and it's not a great way to build sales. Intent counts more than technique. Refocus on it this week. We'll see you soon in our next sales workout. And until then, best of luck and focus on your intent.